Today I fucked up by dating a guy 11 years ago. I woke up to 3 Snapchat notifications this morning, 2 screenshots and a message that just asked who is this. Nothing out of the ordinary since Snap doesn't allow profile pictures and no one uses their real name. Turns out, it was the girlfriend of a guy I dated when I was 15 and he was 17. His current girlfriend 11 years later. She found out he cheated on her and was going through all of his deleted contacts and started messaging them. The antithesis of normal mental health if you ask me. She told me all of these lies he told her, which I honestly don't care about because I literally never thought of the guy until now. But I figured she was hurt and needed to vent, so I tried to let her. Told her that this is the exact opposite of a healthy relationship, and she should really think about what she wants out of life and leave him if needed. It was emotionally draining as I am a 26-year-old happily married woman literally offering advice to a girl who is dating someone I dated when I was 15. Am I literally in the twilight zone? Just to add in case, the girl said she is in her 20s and really sent home the message that she is grown. I tried to be nice as long as possible until she hit me with "you took away something special from me. I was a virgin when I met him and he gave me an engagement ring. I made bad decisions when I was younger and sleeping with him was one. Not in a bad way, just in hindsight where I wish I was a bit older and more knowledgeable of what I was doing. He also gave me an engagement ring back then, but that didn't end up super well obviously. I asked what she wanted me to do because I can't change the past at all, and she replied, "You should have been thinking of his potential wife and who you could be hurting." Yeah. At 15. Gotcha. So now Reddit. I want to make a public statement. I am so regretfully sorry that I had the audacity to be a kid and make uninformed decisions 11 years ago. I am sorry I didn't know this girl on the other side of the country existed and was so completely insane that she would harass someone that hasn't been in the picture for over a decade. I am a horrible person. It was not his fault because, as we know, he couldn't possibly be responsible for his actions as a 17-year-old or his current actions as a 28-year-old. It is all my fault. TL, doctor, I dated a guy 11 years ago, and his current girlfriend found me on his Snapchat and informed me that I effed up by ruining her boyfriend by taking his purity. I had no idea. Edit, a little after 1 AM, she found my FB and Insta accounts. I legally changed my name when I got married, so I assumed they were safe. She called me rude for blocking her on Snap and trashy. I blocked her immediately from both, but I am shaking with anxiety and feel an overwhelming sense of calm. I know I didn't do anything wrong and mentally I am content with that, but physically, my heart is racing and I'm shaking. I'm afraid she's going to hack me somehow and I have to explain that I had consensual sex, albeit a bit too young, and that I'm being harassed for it as a grown woman who can't go back and change anything. My family and friends will laugh it off, but it's embarrassing, and I'm also embarrassed for her. Maybe I just effed up trying to be nice and replying to someone on Snap. TL, doctor, she found my other social media and harassed me there, so I had to block her. Just talking about my feelings and considering that replying to those snaps was really the F up of the day. Haha, sorry you had to deal that brand of crazy. It's a surreal experience. On one hand, it's extremely funny to me. Why yell at me at all? What will that accomplish? I was a kid, he was a kid. We moved on. On the other, I hope this girl comes to her senses and leaves and isn't forcing herself to stay with him because she feels an obligation to, since now she is not pure. I am a bit worried here. I dated a guy when I was in my 20s, very briefly, less than a year, stayed casual. Apparently he got back with his old girlfriend after we stopped dating and lost touch. I mean, good for them. We lived in different cities, so there wasn't really a chance we'd run into each other. I'd heard about it through mutual friends who set us up in the first place. I guess about 2 years later he emailed me out of the blue that he had been thinking about me and tried to use some odd dirty language that was really unlike him, so I ignored that bit, replied it was nice to hear from him and hoped he was well. A week or so later I got a threatening email from who I guess was his girlfriend. Apparently they had been in a fight and he had emailed me to get to her, so now she wanted to start something, over email, from another city. While we were in our late 20s. Told her I wasn't in high school anymore and didn't have time for dumb drama shit like that. hit send, then hit block on both of them. Because honestly, who has the energy for dumb drama like that? Exactly. I'm too old for this. Wasn't a thought in my mind. Live your life, I'm over here living mine. She sounds like my kind of crazy. Lemme get that snap. On behalf of Reddit and the world, I accept your apology. Godspeed. _ We need another extension event pronto. We're still not done with the last one. Today I fucked up because habits don't die. Habits don't die. Today I fucked up. I have lived a good 90% of my life in Asia, Singapore to be precise. But now I'm in Texas working a well-paid job. So I flew from the States to back to Singapore for a week to spend some time with my family after not being home for a couple of years. A week later I was in the flight taking me back to the States because the leave I applied for was over. The whole flight I was relaxed and stuff, but 10 minutes before we were supposed to land, the captain announces that we're going to land in Texas. Wait, what? Texas? But I was supposed to be in Singapore, right? Am I in the wrong flight? If I was in the wrong flight, why didn't nobody come to claim the seat I was sitting on? Just so you know, the plane was jam-packed. I started panicking. I was on the verge of crying. It took me a while before I realized that I just came back from Singapore and I'm going to Texas because I live there. Because I have a job. Thank God. Also, just so you guys know, I'm a 25-year-old with the worst memory and the brain of a child. Too long didn't read, cried and panicked before I realized that I live in Texas. The first time I rode on a plane solo was kinda like this. This was years ago during a spring break trip. I was 18 to 19 at the time, traveling from Illinois to Virginia to visit some extended family. I had flown on a plane before, but not by myself. I board the plane and find that I get a whole row to myself. Sweet. I get comfy and order my soda and snack. It seemed like just minutes after receiving my drink, we are starting our descent. I knew this was a short flight, but I was thinking we had at least another hour. Then the announcement comes on, blah blah blah, welcome to, not city I was supposed to go to. Immediately I start to internally panic. My flight itinerary did not mention a stop or plane change. Did I just get on the wrong plane? How did they let me on? Where do I go? How do I get to where I'm going / home? Am I stuck here? As soon as the door opens and I'm about to turn my phone on, another announcement comes on, all passengers continuing on to VA, please remain seated. On a getaway? Must have been on Southwest Airlines. You were tired and ready to go home. Evidently part of your brain still registers Singapore as home. Then he got off the plane, ate some brisket, and realized all was right with the world. The end. Damn man, I feel you. Must been a hell of a panic attack too. Flight or fight response. My very first commercial flight was only my second flight. I was going from my home in very rural USA to Disneyland. The catch was that I was a chaperone for a very mentally disabled man who literally couldn't talk or use the bathroom by himself. So I get to Denver International, having never been in a major airport before and barely having spent time in a real city, and I have to figure everything out by myself while this guy is in tow, completely clueless. I was so goddamn scared I was going to board the wrong flight, miss the flight, lose something, lose him. Finally we get on the plane, and then land at LAX and the same damn thing. Now I'm trying to find our luggage and our ride to the hotel and all this, while never, ever letting go of my buddy's hand. The return flight was so much better, until the last 20 minutes when he suddenly decided to start making noise on a completely silent plane. Just like a happy little E, but very, very loudly. It scared the crap out of me and half of the other passengers. I was thoroughly unprepared for that adventure, but it was one of the highlights of my life so far. Today I fucked up by eating a corpse's ass. To be clear, this happened few years ago. I am a med student and that itself means I've seen a lot of messed up shit. During freshman year we saw a lot of weird ass stuff that I only saw in movies until that point. Anatomy was one of the first subjects we had to learn during the first semester. As a result we had to learn about the body in detail. That means examining real organs of a dead person. All organ specimen and dead bodies made available to use were preserved in formaldehyde, so the smell was unbearable and irritant to the eye. After a few days of learning basic stuff we had to move to the big part. Dissect a dead body. We were split into groups with each group having a body each and a teacher along with us. Two of us were to dissect one side of a dead body by watching the teacher dissect the other side. When my turn to dissect came up we were dissecting the gluteus muscle, ass muscles. My partner and I began to remove to do dissect, and after cutting off the skin we reached the muscle layer. The teacher told us to stop and watch her cut the muscle. I had a stuffy nose that day so I was breathing through my mouth. Bit of a foreshadowing. The teacher showed us to remove the surrounding tissues without damaging the muscle. After that we proceeded to do the same. I was so into the thing I didn't pay attention and accidentally let go the forceps I used to hold back the ass skin. As it slipped it ripped off a bit off the ass and flung it right towards the back of my mouth. Before I could react my throat automatically swallowed the bit. I rushed towards the sink to spit but it was too late. I gagged and felt bad but I mustered up the courage to continue to dissect the rest of the portion. At least now I can proudly brag that I've eaten ass. Too long didn't read, didn't pay attention while dissecting a body and accidentally ate a piece of corpse ass. Aside from my concern for you, I'm certain I would have vomited myself to death. I'm a tad concerned about biosafety at all your institutions. At mine, we would never dissect a body without a lab coat, referring to your follow-up shirt comment, shoe covers, referring to another commenter's experience, eye protection, a mask, and a full face shield over the top. By your descriptions, I'm half surprised it isn't standard practice to just tear the bodies open with your teeth. I don't know if I should laugh, cry or vomit. How did the teachers and other students react? Smiley face, almost the same reaction as you. Can't blame them. And that, kids, is how I met your mother. Do you have the taste for human meat now? Always had it. Now I'm addicted. I thought this was going to be terrible when I clicked on it, but it's actually so much worse.